Okay, I'm recording this before school and I will share this at some point today in the group, the link to this video. So I just want to share a few things that have been working for me in my music room. The first is Beat Buddies, but not the Beat Buddies you're thinking of. It's very popular on the internet, Pinterest, wherever, to use Beanie Babies as Beat Buddies because the beats in them are loud. But I no longer have my collection of Beanie Babies from when I was a child, and B, don't have the money to go buy a bunch of Beanie Babies. But what I did find a few years ago, a teacher was cleaning out the room and I happened to be in there while she was cleaning out, and so I inherited a bunch of these little counting bears. These probably look familiar. They've been around a hot minute. But I mean, I have a whole tub of them. These are just the ones that I use because they all match like shape. So that way the kids aren't like, well, his bear has a hat and her bear has a shirt on. Like, these are all the same bear, just different colors. And we do frequently have the conversation about it does not matter what color you get, they all work. If you want to whine about colors, then maybe we don't. Maybe we're not ready to use the bears or use the scarves or whatever it is that we're using. So these are just counting bears. And what I do is I have them, we start by, I say, if you can hear me, put your bear on your head. If you can hear me, put your bear on your shoulder, on your elbow. And we go all, put our bear in different places, helps if I don't throw the bear. And we do have a conversation about bears don't go in the air, bears don't go rolling across the floor. We have to be careful with our bears, hold on to it. So I say, can you just bounce your bear? And so I have them hold a hand out, and then they do this. So this hand is doing the steady beat while this hand is feeling the steady beat. Okay, so I I say, can you just match my bear? We don't even talk, this is for like kindergarten. We don't even really say that it's essentially steady beat, but I say, these are your beat bears. Let's see if our beat bears can jump quickly. So then I sing, it's a song from Music Together. That's where I found it. It may not be a Music Together song, but there's a video on YouTube under Music Together channel for the song. So I go, bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum, bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum. Then I say, okay, let's make him jump just a little bit higher, not as high as you can go, but just a little bit higher. Bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum, bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum. Excuse me. It's clearly not even 7 o'clock yet. Then the next one I do, excuse me, is big jumps. Bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum, bitty bitty bum 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 bum, bitty bitty bum bum ba-dum ba-dum. And then we go through each of those one more time. So those are nice to have for steady beat. And then with first grade, I didn't do this with dinner. With first grade, after we do that song, I put a few of the pre-primer sight words. I use the Dolch sight words. You can look that up, DOLCH. Words that they should not have to, but they should know coming into first grade. So don't, especially at this point in the year, don't use a first grade list because you're gonna have very few kids in your classes that are ready for that. So I use like kindergarten list, which Dolch calls pre-per. So I start with that. So it's like the word big. And I say, who can raise your hand and tell me what word's on the board? And it's huge letters. And then someone raises their hand and they say big. I say, okay, can we say big 4 times and let our bear jump on each word? Big, 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 big. Next word. It's like blue. Blue, 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 blue. 4, 4, 4, 4. And we go through I pick 10 words. Because if you try to do the whole list, they will get bored. Then I put a number line 1 through 10 across the board. And so I said, can you count your bear and let your bear hop from the number 1 all the way, touch each number all the way to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, go slower than that in a steady beat. And then I said, okay, can you hop from 10 backwards to 1? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we go 1 to 10, turn it around and come back to 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. So then we do 20. It's a lot rougher doing 20 than it is 10, but it's just, you know, the actual challenge for the kids that need/want that challenge. So that's how I use counting bears. Very easy, very fun. They think it's like a little pet and they love it. Then the other thing I was going to talk about is how I've been trying to be better about incorporating solfege and using our hand signs in my lessons. So 3rd grade started maybe like the 2nd full week of school, maybe the 3rd. I can't remember. 2nd or 3rd week of school, we did Starlight, Star Bright. So, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Wish I may, wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. Obviously slower, but so it's just so me, so me, so me, so me. And then we put it on a 2-line staff, and we talk about how one's higher than the other, and we use our hand signs. I also did that song with 2nd grade just to start getting them in that frame of mind. But as long as their hands are higher or lower, I wasn't being super picky about this. Then 3rd grade did a song out of the game plan book called Red Light, Yellow Light, I think is what it's called. But it's So Me and La. So red light, what do you say? I say stop and please obey. And then it goes through all the colors. Then I put a traffic light on the board and I say, okay, which of those was the highest one we do? And I've also been kind of referencing my chart behind me. And so what was the highest one that we sang? And so someone says La. I say, okay, so what color on the traffic light would it make sense to put La on? And they say red. And so we put that on the top, and I say, okay, what's the next lowest one? So, and then me. So the traffic light goes La, so me. Then we go back to a 2-line staff. Okay, so I say, okay, if so is on the top line, and I talk about how it's like a sticker. I'm not saying it's sitting on top like how my pen sits on top of my desk. It's like a sticker, it's on the line. So if we have so on the top line, me on the bottom line, we're going to put La just above so. It doesn't get its own line because they're next door neighbors. And I talk about the pattern goes line, space, line, space, line, space, and how so and La are next door neighbors. But right now, because we haven't learned Fa, I say there's an empty house between so and me. So we have to leave room for somebody to move in later, down the line. So so's on a line, empty house in the space, me's on a line. La is going to be so's next door neighbor, so La has to be in a space. And so we put it just above the line. And then they colored it. I have a worksheet that they, it's just circles on the lines, but they have to write in the actual letters. And then they have to color it. So all the La's are red because on the traffic light, all La was red. And so's are yellow and me's are green. And then where I'm going next with solfege with them is I'm waiting right now for an Oriental trading order to come in because I ordered some acorn mini erasers, and I'm going to teach them Hop Old Squirrel. It's I have some slides that I used when we did a practice teach in level 2 for ORF, where they learn the patterns, because then now we're going me right do, and I need to move this picture so that they can see Joe. But Hop Old Squirrel, if you don't know, it is me, 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 re, do, me, 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 re. You're getting my early in the morning voice. Me, 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 re, do, me, 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 re, do. So we're gonna be working kind of in this range. And then I'll give them a 2-line staff. We'll talk about like, okay, I told you that it's not necessarily that that line is always gonna be sewed. They can move around, they can shift. So we'll talk about me being on the top line, Dobie and the bottom line, Ray being in the middle, just to practice kind of seeing lines and spaces together. So that's where I'm going next. And then I'll give them a 2-line staff like paper, and they'll use the acorns to kind of notate the melody. So that's where we're going next. So if you have any questions about my sequential, and nobody told me to do these things in this order, this is just kind of what seems to be the next logical place to go. If you have thoughts and opinions on that, feel free to share. And then also to do some counting bears, email your staff at your school and see if anybody has them just sitting in a closet taking up space, because I'm sure there's somewhere in your school. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see y'all soon.